Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews for yet another episode. In today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing for you Andor Season 2 in a spoiler-free fashion, because I know it's been out for a bit and stuff like that, but I still don't want to spoil it because I think it's better if you go ahead and watch it yourself. I think it's one of those shows where absolutely go ahead and watch it, because today that's what this review is about. But before we get into how I felt about the series, and I know it's been a few days, but I've kind of all I've been watching recently is this, just been watching it all week so that I can process it all properly. And I did finish the final episode like an hour or two ago, I'd say about an hour ago or so, so I'm just giving myself time to even think about it even more. So there's all of that. So what you need to know about me is I am a fan of Star Wars, but I am kind of selective about it, if you know what I mean. Like, I wasn't really the biggest fan of Mandalorian Season 3, and Ahsoka was okay, and I do really like, Revenge of the Sith or the original Star Wars things, but I'm not like, bursting at the seams. Oh my god, I'm the biggest Star Wars fan you could ever imagine. Maybe when I was younger, yeah, it was like my absolute thing. So if a Star Wars show is gonna hook me, it's gonna have to hook me good, man, and the first series of Andor really does that. And I think the second season, while it has its flaws to it, and we'll get to that, I think it's one of the better Star Wars shows in a long time, in a few years, probably since the first season. So there's all of that. So what you need to know about this series, this season of the show, is that it's about Andor, it's about his journey, it continues that, right? Continues that where he starts flying a ship, and then he meets back up with his girlfriend, but then there's like Mon Mothma, there's these new characters, there's meant to be a wedding happening, there's a lot going on. But the show, you have episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, where it builds out every character, every moment, every sense of drama, every sense of tension to give you all of the things that you want. So there's all of that. So what do I actually think is really good about this show? So what's really good about it is that it takes that kind of gimmick of the first season where it takes everything seriously and makes sure that, well, every character moment actually matters. Sure, the first couple of episodes, I think they felt like slapstick comedy where they were messing around with Andor and they were trapping him on a ship. But once they start to actually build the story out and they actually let that ball roll, let it all go and let it all happen, it starts to get really good. And I think what complements that is that you can actually feel like, well, the characters actually care about the situations they're in, if you know what I mean. Like, Andor is so motivated to really, really push the Imperial's buttons, prove himself against these bad guys, even if it's a piece of dialogue, even if it's like him just shooting someone. He will do whatever it takes to pretty much prove to the bad guys that they're not very nice people. He'll even try to persuade them, confuse them, and do all he can to do this. And also what's really good about the series is that the filmmaking is just absolutely awesome here. Like, you can actually feel like, well, the setting is nice, the way they shoot the camera around the scenes and the cities and the towns and all around the places that they're filming in, it's just really good. And that's what's really solid about it. And the acting performances as well. Like, Mon Mothma gives a really cool speech in episode 9, I believe it is, and she just goes off the rails and she's like, I've had enough of this. And all of that just building of the tension was why I rattled through a lot of episodes and a lot of nights, because it was just absolutely what I was looking for here. So there's all of that, and so by the time you get to like the final episode of the series, you're like, that's exactly what I was looking for. Everything pays off, everything starts to make sense, and it feels like, that you kind of like, to be honest with you, the wedding stuff about the, Mon Mothma, there's actually there's just scenes where Mon Mothma's dancing, and I was like, oh no, that can't be the whole series. So then when you get to that episode 9, for example, you feel like, oh, Mon Mothma's taking that point where she's actually going to be doing something more eventful. And there's this other guy that had these listening devices that actually goes somewhere. Something happens to the guy with listening devices, and it really does pay off there. And everything just comes to closure. Everything has substance. Everything starts to make sense, and that's what I really think about the first. The first series did this really well, but it's just the first couple of episodes. Like I said, it was just the pacing wasn't my particular favourite part of it. And especially, there is especially a really cool episode in here as well, where you feel like, as like this one of the Skarsgård actors from the first season. He has a pivotal role to play in the second season, and how they flesh out stuff to do with this other woman and him. All of that builds into that is really good. One of the Imperial women and what she does and how she gets affected by everything. All of that's really cool. There's just a lot of good stuff in this series, and I would honestly give it about a solid 8 out of 10. If the pacing was a little bit better in the start of the series, I probably inch it out to about a 9 out of 10, just because it's absolutely amazing how they just conducted it. And there's even moments where Cassie and Andor's shouting at these people, and you really want them to you just want to root for him, and you get invested. And the moments he spends with his girlfriend as well, and how he's just really wanting to make sure his girlfriend is safe and all of that, like, that is some really awesome stuff. And there's even episodes where they actually just title drop the name of the episode, like "Welcome to the Rebellion" or whatever. Like, it just signifies that the showrunners and Tony Gilroy is really realizing his vision. He's really paving the way for an actual story here, and everything just honestly, I could go on forever about this. This is one of the better Disney Plus Star Wars shows, and it's a shame. It's a real damn shame. There's not enough people talking about this season of Andor. I really think that people should go ahead and watch this, figure it all out for yourself, because it's like you're watching a story. It's kind of like you're reading a book. You turn over the next page and you want to keep reading it and reading it and reading it, because that is what it feels like. You just want to keep watching this story until it ends, and when it actually ends, everything actually makes sense. So honestly, I know that's probably the best way I can describe it. Just go watch this, please. Just go and watch this. Use your free time wisely and watch Andor season 2, because I've actually kind of over explained how I've enjoyed it and how everything kind of satisfied me, if not for some pacing issues. So that's my review of Andor season 2. This might not be the most perfect review, as I've not done one in a few days, but this is just my kind of way of doing a review. I just kind of fire into it, I talk about the aspects I enjoy, the aspects I didn't really enjoy, and then you can talk about what I just everything really, how I would describe it, in my honest way of talking about it. And it's honestly probably one of the better shows I've watched this year. A lot better than like Daredevil Born Again. Like, that's the last time I watched a TV show, I think, was like Daredevil Born Again. A little bit better than that. So I just really did enjoy this, and I'm sad that there's not going to be more of Andor. Like, I would actually protest for an Andor season 2. Okay, I didn't mean to say it like that, but I mean. I would actually wager an Andor season 3 or a Rogue One part 2 or something like that. We need more of this character. Like, put him in the next Star Wars movie. I don't care. Just give me more of Andor, because this just proves to me, well, Star Wars can actually cook and actually be an absolute amazing piece of content. So that's my review of Andor season 2. Stay tuned for more like this one. What an absolute rant, what an absolute raving sesh for this series. So bye. Andor is still one of the best Disney Plus shows out there. And I did indeed actually watch a recap of season 1 before watching season 2. Forgot to mention that. So bye. Star Wars review. Let's upload it now. Bye.